Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. And today I'm gonna be starting this episode by myself because Gianluca is away. We found out right now that I'm living in Toronto, and right now in Toronto is 12 p.m. so it's lunchtime, and we just changed the time this weekend. But in Italy, they will change the time. The summertime on the 28th of March, which means that we are out of sync in terms of the timeline. So he will join us like in an hour from now. And yeah, so for those of you who are new to the channel, what we're doing in this channel, we are looking at video games, and we are trying to analyze from an artistic point of view what makes those games so good. I myself am a senior level artist at Ubisoft Toronto, and my friend Gianluca is a Unreal developer at HFAR. And we are both passionate about video games, and we are both passionate about sharing our knowledge. So today's game is gonna be Rage 2, and I think without further ado, we can just start in the video and see how the game looks like. Another thing to mention is if you have any question, feel free to ask in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them. And yeah, anything else? Write it in the chat. Let's go.
We had such plans for this world. Our Earth, so mercifully cleansed by the meteor they named Apophis. We had such plans, all thwarted by one man, Nicholas.
So for those of you who doesn't know, Rage 2 is a first-person shooter, and it's set in a post-apocalyptic open world. And in the game, you are this guy or a girl, and I think as a player you choose at the beginning. And yeah, you are this girl that becomes badass from nowhere, and you start dashing around and smashing things with your supernatural skill. He has a feel of Fallout mixed with Borderlands, and yeah, it's looking pretty cool. This game was developed by ID Software and Avalanche Studio together, joined together, and
Our aid selfishly refused. They chose their own
yeah, and I think
over the future.
Gianluca enjoyed playing this game because I think it's quite fun, and we will see from an artistic point of view what can we learn from it. And yeah, right now we got this introduction of the universe. We are like trying to understand what's going on. Hello, slow hand plays. Hey, hey.
All aligned, all with one sole purpose: the surgical culling of the weak. Man reborn. We tear down the defenses.
So aggressive. Have you guys played Rage 2 before?
We raise their settlements and townships to the ground. Tonight marks the beginning of the cleansing. Tonight marks the rebirth of the authority.
Watching the trailer, the game looks pretty cool, pretty fun, and yeah, I didn't have the chance to play because when you start to work in a game industry, you will realize how little time to play video games you actually have, and it's kind of bad because
What the hell is going on out there?
Better gear up and
oh, nice. Now you're gonna look at
gear.
some art now.
What is this?
Let's see what we got here. So we got the gun. We start this journey with these new toys. Bam! Someone read that. Awesome.
Oh, come on, Lily.
Alright, I can see already something here.
Little
Let's see.
faster walker.
Lily, the closest thing I ever had to family. We grew up here in Vineland, raised by her drill sergeant of a mother. Me? I'm an orphan. I don't have a mother.
But there's plenty more where that came
Do you remember this moment, slow end plays?
This is the big one.
All right. Well, let's go fucking get some.
So I can see right here at the beginning, we are following an NPC, which makes it very easy to follow. Just a second. Let me get the tools down. Okay, so we got the NPC here, which is like a pretty good way of leading the players. You can see we got this zip line going down, so we already know where it goes. You picked the girl? Ah, okay. The other guy there is... Yeah, I agree with that. And on top of that, you can see that where the zip line goes, it's in like in the center of the frame. So if we draw the rule of third, it's like that. So it's quite nice, and you got this big object there that is creating a sense of scale. You can see that you got flame everywhere. So you already know that you're following the girl. So you're going there. You're gonna use the zip line. You're gonna go down. And probably you're gonna go towards that direction because that's where things are going on, I think. Oh, spoiler! We got spoiler in the chat like that. Okay. All right. So yeah, I think this scene is pretty easy, and you know, NPCs guiding you already does most of the job. But yeah, we already also have some elements that helps the players to navigate this space as well. Here, in my opinion, it's a bit bad. I'm wondering what happened here because this is like very like kind of feel like it's missing something. And yeah, let's go back to the video and see where we're going with this. So we killed that guy. Going down. Pretty cool explosion. Awesome. Got a badass right at the beginning. So this is the first encounter, and yeah, as you can see, it's all very like kind of scripted. Like we got this gate here with the vines coming down, and those basically are just arrows coming down, and then we got like a good source of light that is lighting this part, probably coming from here. So you can definitely see the enemies popping out a lot because this is actually your first encounter. So as a player, when you start the game, you need to learn how to shoot other NPCs. So the first encounter is always easy and guided. And you can see right away in front of you, we got plenty of covers that you can take to take cover and kill the guy. So there. And then we will see already there's a one here. So probably after we kill those two guys, there's going to be a few more guys after that. And another thing that we learn straight at the beginning, but it's a common thing that you see in every game, is the red barrel there. So we already know that red barrel means explosive. And yeah, you're right. Always follow the light. In this case, the light is used to highlight more the enemies so that it's easy for you to shoot at them as the first encounter. So obviously, in terms of cover, you can see there is like a channel here, and you can follow and go to that direction, which is where you actually go. And in the distance, you can already see that there's going to be a platform here and some stairs going down. And yeah, that's probably where you're going to go. So already from here, you can tell, you can read the scene a lot, and yeah, it's pretty nice. And in terms of composition, I can see how they try to place all the covers and elements kind of around the rule of third. So if we draw the rule of third here. And we got this massive cover here, which is right there, and then if we then draw the rule of third, which is something like that, we got another cover here, and then if we draw the rule of third here, we're gonna probably end it up here, which is create this with these three interesting point where the eyes easily goes to 1, 2, and 3, and that's exactly the how you read this space. So you got cover here, you got there, okay, like this kind of thing. I hope this makes sense. If you have any question, please ask in the chat. So I'm gonna go back to the video now, see how it goes. So as you can see, the cover is pretty useful. They are like right at the right height to make you shoot through the gap. Red barrels. That guy came out of this so like badass, but then 2 pistol shot and he was dead. What the hell? Yeah. Alright, so here we got this. I believe it's gonna be like sort of a mini boss, because I don't think there's gonna be a boss right at the beginning. And got big guns coming in. There you go. Oh. Cool jersey.
So much for Ranger jersey.
He's not gonna defib out of that. It's all up to me.
Let's see what happened here.
Taking that armor.
If you're gonna do it, do it.
It seems smart. Let's get some armor,
Shit.
right?
Mom's gonna skin you alive messing with Ranger gear.
Yeah, I think the enemies looks like the Doom ones.
Yeah, but it's all
I
in
guess
the
because ID works on Doom and they got inspired by that, maybe? I don't know.
This is even better than I thought.
Let's see what happened here. Okay, so we are here now. We just came out from the cinematic, whatever that was, and we are in game again, and we can see already here a bit of things. So again, if we draw the rule of third, and for who's not familiar with the rule of third is basically you divide the frame in three sections, and naturally the eye will try to, when you do like the composition, you should try to place subjects around those intersection lines so that the eyes will naturally move to that thing, to that kind of thing. And it doesn't have to be like precise in that location, it needs to be around the area. So like in this case, I felt the intention was to place it around here, and yeah, so like we got this sort of a composition thing. Another interesting part of this scene is the foreground, in my opinion. So we got this element here that create a interesting foreground, which adds depth to the scene because yeah, we got like foreground helps to add the depth to the scene. And then what else? We got some cables running that direction, and I can already see there is some railings here, which might suggest me that there is some stairs going down, and then I can see there's something there. We'll see it then in the video. But yeah, that's how we came out straight away from the cinematic. Yeah, so another, so back to the same scene again, and another things that we often do is tire marks. You see the tire marks here? So because we got like those tire marks really helps to direct the player wherever the tire marks are going. In case we got such a like bright surface, it's like it's a really good way to do that. So in this case, the tire marks are going to that direction, and then we can already see that there is stuff going on here. So we can already assume just by looking at this that we're gonna go down this, and then I can see already the covers. There are covers there, covers there, the covers there. So probably we're gonna have to fight around this area. Another thing that really brings the eye to that location too is the use of this light, which is like highlighting this, and it's making this green floor more obvious. And then we also got a lot of leading lines. So we got this thing, that thing there. We are like this building here that has the silhouette broke by this thing, which attracts the eye. Plus we got the big spaceship on top of us that is probably going to that direction. And again, we got other like small line like that. So yeah, you can see how all the environment and all like the things are sort of leading us down there naturally. So I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe slow hand plays can tell us what you think, but I don't think player will naturally go on the right side or on the left side, because there isn't much things to do in that location. Instead, they will just go there. One thing to remind is if you place tire marks, like in this case here, we go here, make sure that they make sense. So don't place tire marks where vehicles cannot get to it. Like in this case, we can see we got this nice ramp here. And after that, probably we got another ramp that is going down. And yeah, so in this case, having the tire marks makes sense because we got some space where vehicles can navigate. So always remember that. Don't just place tire marks on top of a stairs, because that would be weird. Unless there is like weird motorcycle guy who, not weird, but like motorcycle guy who likes to go up the stairs or something. But that needs to be explained in other sort of ways as well to make it more grounded. Yeah, it's pretty corridor-like, I agree, yeah. Let's go back to the video.
On my way.
Again, here we go. Plenty of covers, because we want to make sure that players likes the game and feel fun and feel like, ooh, I'm taking cover and killing enemies. We got these rushes here. So these type of enemies here that are coming close to you are usually used to not let the players camper behind covers or behind things. But because of they will catch you and they will like try to kill you, they will force you to move around and to be always pay attention to where the enemies are and etc. So you can kind of camper. And you have rusher that are like that. You can have the shotgun guys, the same concept. They come really close at you so that you cannot hide in corners. There you go. We got the red barrel. That was right where you were shooting. So even if you were kind of not to shoot at it, you might get the chance to make it blow, to make this scene more wow kind of thing, like more cinematic and everything. I got a bit of fight. It's interesting how they use the light. I think it's very interesting. I like how this ladder is pink, and I believe pink is gonna be the color that we're gonna see throughout the whole game to see what objects are interactable. The lines on the floor is a common thing that we do too. The lines that we saw earlier there. You can see probably those lines in hospitals, in airports, in things like that, because they have still leading you to the right place. You can see the line there. Yeah, as Show and Blaze was saying, this is pretty much a corridor, and yeah. But again, it is good that it's a corridor and a tutorial, because the onboarding process of the player is very important for the game. Because if player don't like or don't understand what's the game about and how to play the game, then they will leave, and probably they will, you know, maybe get refound if they can, or do things like that. So it's really important to show what's the intent of the game. And it's also important to not overwhelm the player with too much information, because that can, you know, backfire. Oh, we got badass here.
Dear old Aunt Prowley, decorated war hero, ranger, and role model, especially for Lily. She took me in when my parents...
Really like those moments where there's a bit of voiceover and the characters explaining what the characters are. I think it's pretty effective.
That's Jersey's armor.
Jersey, they killed him.
You're brave enough to put on his armor. You're brave enough to do his job.
Ooh, big guys coming out.
Seen anything so big?
And he just opened a gate for us, maybe, to continue later.
You'd be dead. General Cross?
Look how pretty this guy is. Nice, nice.
Kill everything else.
General Cross, the evil leader of the evil authority. Our own boogeyman.
Yeah, I can see also in the UI how the pink colors is used,
I don't know
so
if Crowley's lost it or if it's
probably
really
we will
true.
see often
I know
this
though,
pink color throughout
if
the
it
game.
is, I'm not gonna stand for it.
Stand down. That's a direct order.
There we go. Look at those guys. They were very shocked by what was going on, and now they're dead. She's trying to save us. Oh no! Of course. That's, you know, a wow moment. We add wow moments in the game, and it's like an important things to add to make the game exciting. And yeah, I think that was one of them.
I was set to spare the lives of you original archists for...
You can call them wow moments, you can call them rememberable moments. There are many ways to call it, but the concept is that we create this sort of action that you have to do, or things that happen that are really impactful in terms of visual or narrative or other things. We just met her and she's dead already. My God, it's a waste potential. Let's see what happened here.
Let's see if we can jumpstart this. Clear.
Wait, fuck! Fuck's sake! I was conscious.
Again, you guys, if you have any question, feel
Well,
free
your
to
shiny
ask
new
in the
armor
chat.
needed a jolt.
We just woke up from what was going on later.
So this is it then. This is all that's left?
Just over 20 survivors. We're still digging out the ruins.
I saw Prowley. It was General Cross.
He killed her. He killed my mother.
I don't know.
Was her mom?
But we gotta
Poor
stop.
thing.
And I'll personally wring the neck of that goddamn wrinkled bastard.
I never really believed the stories.
Poor thing.
That the authority would return.
Well, they did. We gotta do something about it.
Mom knew what to do. the Rangers knew.
Wait a minute. They kept their files, the logs.
One thing that is really cool here that I want to point out is how she is lit by a warm light. So you can see there's a warm light here, and then we can see the same warm light in the background, which I think is the sunrise. So, something like that. So you can see the warm light here and the warm light here, and everything else is kind of cool. And it's quite nice because it creates that sort of depth to the scene with the colors that you wouldn't really get. If she was like in the shadow, she will kind of blend with the background because she would like kind of be the same sort of color tones and values. But because she's lit probably from the sun, maybe there's like an opening on the left side where the sun can reach her face. Because of that, she gets detached by this mid-ground thing. She becomes like, better lit. I think it's pretty cool. And what else can we see? I think that's all. Yeah, let's go back to
They
the
kept
video.
them in the Presidio.
The Ranger CP? You nuts? Only Rangers can go in there.
Look at me, Lily. I'm the only Ranger
I think the
left.
fact that it's a sunrise, or I believe it's a sunrise, is kind of, you're starting your journey now. It's the sunrise of the new adventure. And this makes sense. Now I think you need to go to the Presidio. Again, you can see how channel and tutorialized this part is. We got this green floor throughout most of it, and then we got this yellow line throughout all of it. And you're literally following it, almost as you were in a hospital or in an airport, and you're just going to the section of to the terminal of the airport. Usually, the terminal of airports are color coded, so maybe the terminal A is blue and the terminal B is green, and if you follow the blue lines, it will lead you to that terminal. And that's how you make in the video game, from the video game point of view, the players, but from the airport, like people aware of where they are and how to reach their location in an easy way. Cool, we got that.
If you're seeing this message, it means we've been hit harder than ever before. I'm likely dead, and Vineland is laid to ruin. It also means that you're the only living Ranger, and that the authority is back, and they must be stopped. All these years, I kept you away from the ranks of the Rangers, as I hoped you would be spared in an attack like this. Likely targeting Rangers and Elders. You're my hidden weapon.
Good.
Sorry I kept you in the dark. You now have full access.
I like how the videos fast forward now, because a lot of talking.
Surprise you got for me here, Ghost Prowley. She might be dead, but she's still calling the shots.
There you go. Obviously, with the
Please approach for security scanning.
the golden marker is very
Welcome to our
easy way to lead the players in spaces, and usually what you can do is to work the space without the golden marker and make sure that you lead the player without that UI guide. And if that works, it's cool. If that doesn't work and you add the golden marker, it's gonna feel much better in any way, because you already worked towards making the space readable and to improve the navigation towards certain objective. But don't just say, oh, I'm gonna add the golden marker because you know, I want to lead the player, like try first to come up with solution on the environment and on the storytelling of the dressing, on how can you guide the player to certain location, and then after that, if it really doesn't work, then golden marker can maybe help you fix that. I think especially in open world, it's hard to not have golden marker because of the how big is the space. Yeah, exactly. So some player likes to disable the HUD and all the UI information. So that's why I think it's important to design the space without having the golden marker in mind, but design it in a way that it's readable even without the golden marker. Like in this case, you can see everything is quite, again, as you said earlier, this is like a tutorial, but you can see already how we got lines here, we got this opening here, and everything is kind of flowing to this direction. We got this line here, probably a line here. We got also the person there, which is, you know, attracting us. We got a person there, but that's another thing. We got this orange shape that is also leading there. We got a lot of elements that once we arrive in this sort of plaza, they are leading us to go to that direction there. And yeah, so in this case here, if I remove the golden marker there, like disappear, you still kind of, let's maybe remove also from here. You still kind of know where you have to go. So for sure, you know that you need to go like some sort of this direction here, and the fact that the person is right there in front of you is like an easy win because you will probably go to her and then follow that. So even without the golden marker, this will work. Yeah. Uncharted did an amazing job on how to guide the player in the space. It did like really good job with colors, with things. Maybe one day we will look at the Naughty Dog games too and see how they done. The QC also I believe also will test the no hard things and try to figure out if the level works and etc. But in general, I see when I work on environments for Ubisoft, for Far Cry, or for like when I was working the Division, we were trying to guide the eyes regardless of the golden marker. Golden marker is something that you only see when you actually play the game and all the systems are working together. But when I myself, as an environment artist working on a level in the editor, I don't see the golden marker while I'm working. So, which means that it's very good because I can focus on making the space readable without the use of the golden marker, which is, a big win. Go back to the video. I'm glad you like a show and place.
So, what you got?
Well, I've got lots of ideas for projects, and
We just started as well, so hopefully things will improve in terms of quality and how stream goes and how fun they are. Yes, confetti, please.
Got it down.
Like one thing that I want to point out here, which is probably you can read it already, but if you see weird, or maybe not weird, but like non-breakable asset that maybe should be breakable, like this post here, this metal post, there's always a reason. And in this case, the reason is because the dev didn't want the vehicles to reach this area here. And the reason is because maybe there is bugs or the vehicle can run over the NPC, the friendly NPC, and create a walkthrough break and things like that. So in this case, they provide this non-breakable asset that you basically the gap is not big enough to allow the vehicle to go through. Okay, so maybe motorcycle are fine. I don't know. Could be interesting to ride through. Also, in this case, could be that the posts here are an easy way to tell you, oh, don't go here, don't mess around with the game, right? Don't break the game straight at the beginning. You can break it later, I guess, but for now, just follow the tutorial and go to that direction. I think that's also what they were trying to see. But yeah, for sure, like having it here in front of you, this is now a statement from the game dev that they say, if you see this kind of metal post, you will not be able to go through with a car. Probably with a motorcycle, yeah, that's for sure. And the reason why probably in some areas you can go through with a motorcycle is to not force you, but helps you to explore more vehicles by forcing you to not like to allow you to use more vehicle by blocking some of them and allows others so that you can try different things. Okay, cool. Exactly. Let's go back to the video. Can we get some confetti, Jim Twitch? Here it's like pretty good. Like we got the first shot of the environment. I took up other things. Obviously we got tutorial here, which is bit in our face, but let's close an eye for now. And you can see already a big landmark. So this mountain here, whatever it is like one landmark. So we will, since it's so big, so huge in the open world, that will probably be the main landmark of this region or this area of the game. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, usually, open world, it's almost like a sandbox of fun. And when you go inside missions or inside building, maybe that's where it's more like channeled and corridor. I don't know in this game, but most of the game open world like that works. But yeah, it looks very open. But yeah, we were saying that this is like the main landmark, and you can see, you will probably be able to see these big mountains from all over this region, and that's a way to have the player familiarize with the area that they are, and to change the landscape, to change the silhouette, to change the horizon, so that they can make each area different and unique and have their own like main landmark kind of thing. Another thing that I can see right at the beginning here is there's like some unique rock formation right here. It's like that. And then there is another rock here. And to me, those are helping you to guide the player. Somehow, I feel like because of this line, because of that line, because of this line, and etc., that's where the player will go. Also, if we draw, like, it's very hard to control where the camera is going to look for the player, because the player has full control of the camera, obviously, so they can look left or right. But in general, like in this case, we just came out from a gate, so that's a good opportunity for us to frame the view in a way that we can control, because we know that the player will go towards that direction. So because of that, in this case, if we draw the rule of third again, we will see how this area here is like one of the rule of third. And what else I can see? I can see this post here, this one here, this one there, and I can see it repeated here, there, and I don't see behind that because there is smoke, which might suggest that the road might go that way, and then somewhere there, something like that. Because I can see how these white structures are present here, 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 here. So they're always around the road, which it makes me think that it might go around there, maybe around there. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so I hope that makes sense.
I know I look good, but I drive better. Let's you and me go for a spin.
There you go. We'll go around. Pretty cool. There's like not many elements around us. So that thing, this sort of structure here. Actually, let me change color. These sort of like enticing location are very common in open world. Because to me, even if the road goes on the right side as it goes here, and it goes like next to it, to me this is like, ooh, what's inside there? Can I go have a look? Is there any loot? What can I see through that? And stuff like that. So you will see probably many geological feature in the open world that suggest that, or other POIs, or like other things that intrigued you and they make you want to explore more the environment. And that's like a common thing that we do. Again, going back to what we were saying earlier, you see in the background the big mountain. It's always there. It's always there. So we always know where we are in relation to that mountains, which helps us to orientate ourselves in this big open world. So yeah, I want to see what's in that side. All right, so here, as we were saying earlier, we got the pink, right? Got the pink smoke. So definitely there is something going on here, and obviously the smoke is it's a good way to signpost that there is an activity to do or something like that. And yeah, you can see again the this like post here, the one that we saw at the beginning, which blocks you. So basically you got this vehicle here, this like wall here. Obviously you can just jump out the car and keep walking and go over or something like that, but for now this looks like they are blocking you. And you got some here too, so maybe this could also be a trap, that if I don't know if that's actually the case in the game, but maybe if you go inside with a car, then someone from whatever it is will trigger this post here to raise, and then you will not be able to escape. So the game forces you to get off the car and then do whatever you have to do in this space. First encounter, yeah. So let's go back. The music. So here I can already see, I saw like already few elements, and talking about the pink thing. There was like pink graffiti on the house, which is probably where you have to do things. We got this pink thing here, which is where the zipline is connected to. And you will see, we saw the pink ladder earlier during the tutorial. So right now we learned that all things that have color pink on it is something that you can interact with it. You have to do something with it. You can make something of it. So you can see also here there's like a loot box, and the top of it, the lid of it, is like pink. So it's definitely like pink is the color that they use for interactable object. Again, here we got this line going there, this line going there, this line going up there. So that's again, I saw the pink up here, and I know that I need to go up there. And I think yeah, that's in general very readable. Yeah, you see like the pink on that little box control thing. It's pretty obvious. Usually for interactable thing, we try to stick to one color. Why do you think it's a bad choice? I think it's standing out a lot, yeah. It's very obvious, maybe too obvious. What do you think about slow hands?
Roadblocks and blocking days are over. All clear.
Yeah, the coalition's gonna love that.
What color would you have chosen? where Gianluca takes ages to clear a simple checkpoint. Blame him, please. Thank you for the following. Don't. I'm really bad with names. Dawn and Das 96. Alright, so we are back to the environment. Pretty cool, you can shoot from it. What's happening now? Let's see where we're going. Those roads are pretty cool. They add a lot of parallax and depth. Nice to see that the cars, the trees are breakable.
Signal close by. It's Arctech, right?
Yep, it's designed to pick these old signals up. It could be an old arc. If it's untampered with, it might still have weapons and gear inside. You should really check
I like
it out.
how it's everything is barricaded and everything is like fortified, but there is a nice ladder leading up to the to the first line of defense of this place. And obviously that maybe makes not much sense, but that improves how smooth the player plays this area here, which is important too. Yeah, I remember the first game was very like monotone, and yeah, it looks like they changed direction here and they went with this sort of thing. Obviously here you see where you have to go. You got this massive structure. You got the orange door there, so it's very obvious. Hey Jenny Joy, thank you for following. Hope you like the content. Yeah, I remember. It was like all like brownish color. I agree. Yeah.
Security scanning complete.
They add a lot of colors to Doom.
416A.
That's what you mean? Like the Eterna one? Yeah, I feel like the Eterna now that is set in that city. It has so many like branding elements, neon color things that we didn't used to see in Doom, the first Doom.
That arc was brimming with some amazing gear.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty jealous right now, so keep a lid on it, will ya?
Okay, let's see here. So here, really smart, really interesting thing. A lot of times in open world games, you got a mission in a POI where you have to go to the POI, do something, and then the way you came in is always the same. Is also the way that you came out, and usually you try not to do that. So usually you try to get in from one side of the building, of the structure of the POI, and come out from the other side, so that you don't repeat the same environment, the same kind of things to the player. In this case, they did this smart thing where at the beginning the door that we got in front of here was locked, so you were forced to walk around the stairs, going up here, going there, or coming up here. You were forced to do that. But now that you're just coming out from the structure that we were before, and we know that because we can put a volume that when the player is in the volume, we can detect when things happen. So because of that, now we are opening the door, which is, creating movement with is very attracting for the eye, so the eye is definitely looking at that. And I'm pretty sure some enemies will spawn behind the door, or they were spawned behind the door, and now they will walk inside and fight, as well as coming from there and there. So we got this element here. But what's important here is that even if we are going in and out to the same space, what they did here was a good things to change a bit how you get out. So instead of going out, you can still going out from the same place where you got in, but at least now you got a clear way out, and you got movement, you got enemies getting inside. So it's kind of almost dynamic and interesting than going out from the same way that you came in. which is pretty smart. And yeah, and from this location you are quite high up, and you can read the space basically. You came out from this, and you can see, okay, there is this part here that I can take. There are some cover there. There's this structure behind there that is protecting me from what's behind or whatever. I can probably climb that and go there. I got these two main covers, which is very, very wide and very like powerful, because you have the upper end almost, apart from this location. So you got this massive cover here. And yeah, that you got like a good visual, but you don't have the upper end. And then on here you got the upper end. You got some cover here, explosive in case an enemy is coming close. Got things like that. And yeah, it's pretty readable. And this like coming out and the doors opening, it's giving you your brain a bit of time to understand how you wanna tackle this situation. And yeah, it's looking pretty cool. Another thing that I noticed is probably the faction dressing. I can see here there are two main colors in this space, which is this rusted, sanded sort of. Actually, let me change color. Let me go with the. Let's go with a purple. So we got this yellow rusty color, and then we got this blue. I'm not sure yet because I haven't seen much of the what's going on in the game, but those could be two colors that you see often in the dressing of the POI where this faction that we are fighting with are present. So yeah, it's a good thing. And it's very important to have strong colors per faction, because you want to diversify the factions, because each faction will behave differently. So you want to teach the players that, okay, if you see yellow with blue is the faction A, and you know that faction A use a lot of Russia that comes at you, so it means that you cannot just camper and sniper people outside, but you have to always to move around, and you have to select a certain type of weapon and things like that. So it's very important to create a strong distinction between the factions, so that players, you guys, can learn how to behave on against each factions. But yeah, overall, like, this is pretty readable, pretty cool. And yeah, again, the door opening, it's really nice way to let you go out from the same way, by making it cooler. You guys got this? If you have any other question, feel free to ask, and I can pause and I can answer those. Let's go back.
May you bring a new human beginning, Ranger Walker.
There you go, enemies going in, coming from all different locations. Yeah. You see, those one with the shield and with the baseball bat are the so-called rushes, and those helps us to make players like you moving around instead of camping in one location. Alright, so we finally clear this space. Like, when I look at that, I don't know if that's reachable, but I look at this, I'm like, ooh, what is that? Can I get that? Can I, see what's in there? And I can also see something. There's something here. I don't know, waterfall or something, and that's a path which might lead to this location here. And the reason why I saw that is because the good job that they did with the silhouette. So we got this like very dark value of the mountain there, which continues here. And the only thing that is breaking this very simple line is this structure. And because of that, it's creating a high contrast value between the sky and the value of the structure, which attracts the eyes a lot. Plus, you know, these are just, you know, guiding you there. So yeah. So thanks to the silhouette of things, it's very important to put some hints in the open world to tell the player, oh, you should explore that, what's in that, things like that. So that's very well executed here.
Systems activating.
That's very true too. Like what Slower Hand played said, that those shared enemies are there because you just learned something new too. So here we got this like interesting location here. I like how things get spawned, or like the spaceship is coming and going very quickly. I think it's a smart way to, might be a smart way to spawn enemies or things. In this location here, I noticed that there is this massive tower in the middle that is shooting you rockets and things like that. And as you can see, because it's such a powerful tower, all the covers that you have available around this area, they are all non-breakable assets. So you can see mainly your main covers are the buildings and containers, and those probably will not break when those missiles will hit them. So it's interesting because that's great, a very unique location in terms of scale. You don't have small, the navigation is very improved because you have very little props around walls and very little props that you can interact and use and get stuck with. Because you don't need those, because the enemies of this location is like a big tower that it doesn't move and needs time to load the next bullet, and the bullets that it has, they are like very huge. So if you take cover on a small piece of metal and that thing shoots at you and that metal doesn't destroy, it will look weird. But in this case, the covers are the buildings itself. So it's a pretty smart way to, you know, to change things up, to make it more interesting and to fit the space with the type of enemies you are facing. This guy looks tough. Good job. And then, you know, good explosion. Bada boom, bada bam. You get like that wow moment of the wow like feeling of, yes, I destroy it, boom. You can see all the doors in this place. Then you can get inside the interiors of this place, and all the doors don't have handles. I don't know if you noticed that. And that's you know, an easy way to make doors readable, that you can now get inside them or open them. Like if a door doesn't have handle, or it's not lit, or it's like stuck with the props in front of it, or it looks damaged or something, that's you know, a good indicator that you can go inside that door. Pretty good. Again, we got those flare there. Pretty good way to lead players. I guess Gianluca didn't like them, but that's another conversation. And you know, that creates easy leading opportunity for the player in the open world. Thank you, Hazard Raised 96 for the follow. Sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly. You can insult me in the chat. Blue colors is for your skill. What do you mean, Fluent? You mean like the blue flare? The blue like smoke flare thing? I see, yeah. You see the fact that those ammo boxes, I don't know if they are if they explode if you shoot at them, but I don't know, I feel like they could be since they are red. And in many games we got ammo boxes that can explode, and you know that makes sense. I guess who's playing here is not really using the skill, eh? Okay, I think we're... You see the ledge there? There was a pink ledge. Ledges are other things that we often use to signpost where players should or could climb. And you can see there's a ledge right behind where the player is standing right now. Yeah, probably forgot. And I think if I might have forgot about that, but it's not entirely his fault. I think the game could have reminded him of. Oh, you should use the skill again. Like make sure that players know when to use them or something. I guess he needed to get that boost to break that thing. Yeah, it would be cool to see to play Nightmare.
Security scanning complete. Welcome to Arc.
Look at that skill, getting under. Yeah, exactly. Right now we're coming out.
May you bring a new human beginning.
I think we learned the double jump, and straight here, as like going back to what Slow Hand is saying. Right here we got an opportunity to double jump in the air and get on top of it, and probably we'll see more after that. So yeah, you know, you get the skill and you got like a very small tutorial to learn how to use it. Very important for the player onboarding in general. Again here, we got the same thing. Double jump. And then in this case, it looks like we are coming out from the same way. There's no new door opening. Oh, look at that. So you see the pink ledge? There is a signpost there, and it's basically to remind you, oh, there is a way there, because maybe player cannot see that, but you know, the level design might have put that to help you finding that flanking route. Yeah, I think like in this specific case, they're ambushing you and etc. to make this feel more like intense in terms of what you got versus what you had to do to achieve it. And also, I think they give you an opportunity to test your skill in a combat situation, so you can like double jump and dash and move around very quickly, so that you can, you know, test things out. Imagine if you get a skill, and then in order to try them, you need to play 20 minutes the game. Like, it's kind of weird. Yeah, exactly. You know them, right? The Far Cry Legends. So yeah, I guess the blue smoke here is signposting. Maybe there is a skill to learn there, or than it was, like Sloan was saying.
It's a bandit post. It looks like they're hauling fuel.
So this is very cool. I think in this case they didn't use any flare, any smoke thing, I guess. But they use this to signpost to the player the type of this location here. And the VO just say that this is like a fuel depot or something, and this is like very cool way to to make sense of the space and signpost at the same time without putting colorful smoke flare everywhere. And yeah, really cool. I think it was very nice to see that.
Pit. Topping tank for convoy.
I guess we still have flares though.
Believe that fuel should-
Maybe that wasn't strong enough. Open world as well usually are full of flanking routes. You can see how Gianluca went inside the space from that broken fence. Like we put plenty of those because we wanna let the players figure out where to go and how to go, and things like that. Ah, that's cool. It's good to see those connections with the game. I think we can pause a bit and we can answer Queen Delu question, which is it more difficult to create an outside or an inside environment? So I'm gonna switch to the webcam section. Here we go. On my right side we got Gianluca, which is missing. So good job, Gianluca. Again, for who just joined, Gianluca is missing because the summertime just changed here. So I'm in Toronto right now, and it's noon. It's like lunchtime. It's 1 p.m. right now, and in Italy, where he's from, it's right now 6 p.m. So he should be joining us soon, I think. But yeah, answering what Delu asked, is it more difficult to create an outside or inside environment? I think I feel like an outside, like an outdoor environment, is more difficult to create because it's much harder to create a perimeter around to gate it, to control it in the way that you want to design it for. So usually the outdoor environments are things that you can approach from different location and different things. And what else can we say? Yeah, that's pretty much it. In an interior, usually we go a door. So once you're in, you know exactly where you are, and we can channel you whatever we want. We can make corridors, we can make a maze, we can make whatever we want, but we know that you're gonna stay there and you don't have other ways to get to that interior. So yeah, in this case, to me, it's just like a open world POI that is accessible from every location. Yeah, exactly. Mostly a corridor. I think I think if they were all open world kind of POIs, you kind of get the same repeated experience, which is with a corridor you get a break from the open worldness of an open world. So I think it's a good way to switch things up a bit, but yeah, I think it's nice to have a bit of variation in the way in the environment that you see. And yeah, as you ask, slow hand, yes, there are more details because usually when you are in an indoor, we unload all the open world around it, which allows us to have much more room in terms of performance, to dress the space better, and to make it look cooler, more VFX, more like lighting and things like that. Like a budget that we have for lighting outdoor is different from a lighting budget that we have for indoor, which is for the reason that I just explained. So yeah, definitely indoor and corridor are much more detailed, and that's the reason why Naughty Dog games like Last of Us or like Uncharted, if you want, they are so well detailed because they know all the time where the players are gonna be, and because of that, they can learn more. Yeah, and yeah, because of the amount of details in the interior, you can explain more the stories with the more like storytelling, dressing elements inside that. And probably we will see some. And let's see. Last time. Okay, I think we can go back to the video. So here we got a bit of storytelling, back to slow hand plays. I was saying we got this faction taking over these POIs, and they are placing planks, metal panels and things to create some sort of fortress, and then they seems to use behind where Gianluca is looking right now, it seems to use some antennas and things to probably communicate with each other. So they kind of improvise this sort of structure, and it seems to always have those mannequin all around their spaces, and I guess is to to scare people from the distance, to make them look like they are there patrolling the space, but instead they are not. They are just a mannequin, and they can scare the people try to approach this location. You can see like this is an interior, but it's not an interior, and like it's not like an interior mission. So this is, I would consider still this an open world. Got a question
Hey
time
there.
here. Oh, hello. We got Gianluca here.
Hello. Sorry for the, the delay. But I'm here finally.
Finally, you are here. Let me see if we can see Gianluca. Just a second, guy. While the game is playing.
Another bandit pit stop.
Walker, I know it's a big old wasteland out there. You have
Just a second.
right?
Hi, chat.
There we go. Now you should see him. Let me post the video. So this is Gianluca.
Hey,
the gamer
nice
of this.
to be here.
So Sloan, if you wanna tell him that he was playing like a noob, that's the guy. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, now we can finally start the stream. Now Gianluca ride.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
It's going good. I saw.
Yeah, a lot of things. Yeah, it was him.
Yeah, it was me. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go
I
back
just
to
have
the
to
video.
say that at the beginning of the game, I wanted to record the gameplay without, excessive usage of UI and boring parts. So I went to the options of the game and disabled all the tutorials int and also the tutorial session when they teach you how to use the skills that you unlock. He didn't call me a noob. You just add that. So whenever I picked up a new skill, I always didn't know right away how I needed to use it. So that's an excuse, I know, but
Anyway, before we continue, I wanted to point out how they put some lights here. I think we are entering a location here, probably a safe location, since it was so easy to get towards the entrance. You can see there are some guards here or something. Actually, you don't really see it. The reason why you see them is because the golden marker is there. So again, if we remove the golden marker, we probably don't see anything. But because of those lights around, you can see that there's something. And those stairs here helps as well to signpost that there is something there. You probably can see them too if you were coming from the other side. On top of that, and this is more like for the night, I believe, we got this massive arrow here going down, going that way, plus the enter, I think. Enter sign, which is like pointing us inside here. So this is like definitely an entrance that the game there wants us to go in. to see and not to miss it. So pretty cool. Obviously, we got the tire marks going around there, and it's nice to see that we've got these elements here. This is like the universe sort of storytelling. So we are starting to learn how the humans are living, and you can see they are living in they're living in very improvised structures with a lot of metals and rust and things like that, which is I think the cool factor of this game. I think they play a lot on that. And lastly, one thing that I want to point out is the details that are coming down here. So you can see like those cables there, these arrows here. Those are all there to help breaks the otherwise boring silhouette that this channel would have created. So this channel is a box, but thanks to this sort of elements hanging down from the ceiling, you can kind of make a more interesting thing. And the same applies to those elements here. See like this antenna thing, these elements there. So they're all there to make this space look more interesting. In this case, you don't have to read much about where you go, where blah blah blah, because you already know that you have to go here. So these are just to make a better looking space. Come back to the game. Sorry if I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. I just saw that Quindelu did a quote from Fast and Furious.
Alright, let me remove these first. Okay. So here, I think I didn't manage to stop the frame in time, but I think this is good enough. But yeah, one thing that I noticed here, which is very, very cool, is even if this space is set in a post-apocalyptic world that maybe we can fully understand because we never lived through it, you can see elements of our world, like these branding elements. These branding elements here, you got another one here, you got one here. I guess here it looks like similar. You got stuff here. And all these branding elements really helps to connect whatever environment you're making with reality, the reality that we are living right now in the world. I know that right now we're not really going outside much, but if you go outside and you go to a public place, to a plaza or something, and you will have a lot of like branding like that. Entrance wise, not the best entrance. Yeah, I haven't seen the other ones, but yeah, I think it could have been more like interesting and well, better like dressed. But yeah, I just wanted to point out the branding here, which is I think a really good trick to bring a connection from the world that you're making a video game to the world that we live, which is really cool. Also, another thing that is nice ways to break out, like when you go like big surface, like in this case we got concrete slabs all over the floor, and this grass, even if maybe it's too dark here, but let's close an eye there. Probably it's like a GI problem or something, I don't know. The grass here is helping to break a bit that massive land of concrete sort of things. And in terms of entrance, yeah, I think the composition is now super cool, but what I see is that, I don't know, this looks like a place where you go and trade or buy things, upgrade. I guess that's sort of a settlement. I can see how this guy is almost like here on this row third, and then on top of that, if we start to draw the other row third, you can see how this guy here, there's like something else here. Right now I didn't stop the frame in time, but if I go back to the video and I stop it when Gianluca was coming in the space, I think these elements will align a bit better. So yeah, again, as you say, the slow end it could have been placed better, but yeah, we got a strong attention to this place, to this guy, and that's pretty much it. And I think we can read as well, thanks to the pipe, thanks to elements that goes to that direction, that there is that direction or something, or there's something to see. Yeah, there is a huge wall, exactly, yeah. And which no, I can see that there is a lot of fog there, or smoke coming out from that hole, and that's also helping to break this plane here. And another thing that is very interesting is to see the silhouette here. As you can see, this is like an old building, so it's not made of metal. It's not made of like it's the building that we are living right now. And maybe Borto can reduce the volume of the keyboard because I think I can hear it, and other people can. So the structure here, you can see, adds a lot of on the silhouette that we have with the sky, but also add a lot of storytelling. So basically, this structure here is telling us that there used to be a building like the one that we live right now in our world, and they are all destroyed now, and that's what remains of. So this is probably a ruin of an old city that they repurpose with the metals and concrete thing to create their settlement. I think this is really cool. Let's go back to the video.
Don't try the slime bubble.
Okay, we go down there. This is really like I'm still sitting on the fence in terms of the amount of colors that I see there. But one thing that I want to point out is how nice the transition between this sort of red color is with this blue. So if you see here, you can see the gradient of the blue getting like very, very strong, and then slowly fading and becoming red. And I think that's a very cool way to blend light colors together, either like cold and usually you blend cold and warm light to make this interesting gradient. And again, always try to make this sort of gradients when you're making your plays, or like in game you will see often the use of this sort of things to make things look cooler. But yeah, I feel like there's like color there, there's like pink, there's a yellow there, there's a red there, there's a blue there. Maybe there's a reason, I don't know. We'll see later. Yeah, the famous one. Let's keep going. Alright, we've got this bar. Obviously the bar counter there is very lit, and I guess that's where we're going. I wanted to point out something here. I think I mentioned already in other episode, is how much the movement helps to make the space alive. So I don't know if obviously you can't see it moving now, but you can see here there is sort of a ceiling fan or something, which is probably it's coming from a light from the top, and you can see the volumetric fog here coming down, and this rotates. I don't know if it rotates that way or the other way, I don't remember. But yeah, that's a cool way to add a lot of details. And we always try to add those sort of elements that moves, either like a piece of cloth moving with the wind, or a tree moving with the wind, or some ceiling fan spinning, or electricity sparking if you are like in a place that allows you to do that, or water dripping. All these kind of things really helps to make a space believable. And in this case, I think it's really effective because it's right in your face, and it's like, oh, that's a live thing. And and it's cool that the guy are standing here with the lights. I think it's a cool way to create that sort of details. Like in this case, you can see in the video there is some sort of dust midair, and that's another way to add some movement. Also, having NPC in your scene is also another way.
shit by mega bad tech mutants. I ain't biting, Gulo. You're just looking for a free fix to swill here.
Vineland is gone.
See? I was talking true.
Yeah, right now in this shot, the only things moving apart from the characters is the dust made there,
Ranger, huh?
which is, you know, something that you can add to add some movement. But if you can add more substantial things, that's
Legendary
even better.
resistance fighter, war hero. We grew up on stories about this guy. I gotta admit, I was expecting something more impressive.
Look at that, nice effects. Making liquid simulator in games is very hard. It's very hard.
So we all thought. We weren't ready.
So
I have
yeah.
seen the liquid simulation in Half-Life Alyx.
I'm guessing you're
In the bottle ones.
project.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. But yeah, it's a very it's in a controlled kind of space, so it's
So it's
it's
easier.
easy, it's easy to control. Like if you need to have, I don't know, to flood an area with the water, to have a pipe putting out water, like that's much harder to do.
It won't take long.
Oh, look at that. Guess we're going out. All right, let's see here. We're coming out. Let's see how it looks. Like coming out from this bar, we again have another opportunity to frame the camera in the way that we want. And I don't know about this place. Maybe it's the first place. Maybe it's now the best place to be. But yeah, you can see again, easy rule of third. You can see how this channel here is in one of the third. It's just really helpful because that looks very inviting, especially thanks to the light. And as Slow Hand said earlier, you follow the light. So here you go again. You got one light here. So it's probably like there, something. And then we got a second light there in the background, which suggests there is more than one layer of structures there. There is a light behind here. So let me change color. Behind here, which I really don't understand. But yeah, I guess there's a reason for it. Yeah, like I wouldn't put the light here because you got the golden market right in front, and when you're making this silhouette popping out so much, it's kind of, oh, I want to go there. But at the same time, I see that without the light behind here, this scene could have been looked much more like worse because the light helps to highlight this sort of details, right? So the light actually adds a bit of details, a bit on the scene. So don't know, sitting on the fence there. What do you guys think? Should they have had the light there or should I not? And lastly, I think, in terms of perspective, we got some line leading there. So I think it's kind of suggesting us to go there. And yeah, again, the grass here to break up this concrete. Nice touch. Where else do we go? That's pretty much it. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this shot, I think. Here we got some elements to break the sky again, to create interesting shape. That's the high contrast place. Yeah, true. That's pretty cool. Let's go back.
I suggest you stock up at the market before venturing into those sewers, Ranger. You get that power back for me. And Dagger's back.
You can see the hole now. That's pretty cool with the smoke coming out. You see the movement of the smoke. This is pretty cool. I think this area started to look cool, in my opinion. Let me know, guys, what you think about it. And what is cool to me is the the shadow and sort of the storytelling about this. I can see there is some sort of vendors or shop here. I don't know if it's selling food or selling equipment or something. I can see there is another, looks like animals hanging or something, but this looks like another small shop here. There's also stuff behind here that is connected to the shop. Probably the one that we are next to is also another shop here. So we got 1, 2, 3 shop. In this scene, the one that most attract me is obviously the number 2, because it has so much attention around it. Oh, sorry.
Slow Hands is pointing out that the way that you have to go to the mission is the left side. So this wasn't the right side where you should go. But actually they led you here because there is the market and they want you to introduce you to the concept of it.
Yeah, I think exactly. Yeah, like they wanted you to explore this area. Maybe I don't know, it's hard to say because from a mission point of view, yeah, obviously you want to go to the straight to the point. But from an experience point of view, I think going back to where you came from and going back to that hole, it would have been the same of going all around here and see how alive and cool this space is. Because from where you got inside this space, from the gate to the bar, you didn't really see much of what this village is. So now you get like a glimpse of, oh, there is a market, they're living here, they're selling things, and you're now learning, oh, that can be things that I might need to use later. So yeah, as you said, yeah, I think that the fact that they didn't force it, because you could have gone right, but the fact that they really try to lead you on the right side is to allows you to show you these kind of things.
Yeah, right.
But as I was saying, there are 3 shops here. The one that attracts the most is this one because of these like strong lights coming down here, and they're creating this interesting shadow on the NPCs, which also helps to create this sort of lines that are leading my eyes, I guess, there. And if we look at in terms of composition, I can see how if we draw like a line here, line there, line there, you can see how this part is like right there, and it's quite nice because you also have a lot of perspective lines guiding your eyes to there. So if I draw some, got some there, we got the floor here, we got the lights itself are leading you there, the pipe there, this other section here. You got plenty of elements, like all the steps, because of the way that the perspective works, they are kind of moving your eyes to that location. So it's definitely clear that you have to go to this location or like to continue to move in that direction. And yeah, and it's good things that once you get in this sort of space, that location is also intersected with the top left corner of the rule of third. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And then on the right side here, I think this it's pretty much like this space here is on the other rule of third, and there is some interesting light in the background there that suggests us, oh, I want to see what's in there and check things out. And on top of that, I can see all the storytelling in the dressing. You can see like there are boxes here. Let me change color actually. Let me use a nice pink to stay in theme with the game. You can see like there are boxes here and cardboard boxes and some equipment. So this could be either where this shop is storing this stuff, or where maybe the garbage or something. You got some bottles and things here, which might be what this guy is selling as well, and they want to the shop is advertising who's like walking around this to show you that. We got like food here, I guess it's food or something, so maybe there's like a food vendor here, and looks like food here. I don't really understand, but pretty sure these elements are connected to what's going on in terms of storytelling on this booth here. And yeah, it's pretty cool looking space, like this specific part of this camp. Go back to the video. Alright, there you go. So yeah, again, you learn, you trade things. You go back there.
Marshall sent you, huh? Third one this week.
So they led you where the missions board is, so you learn where to search next missions, side missions.
Yeah, exactly. So you learn a lot of things in this like tour of this place. Did you have to interact twice?
I don't know, actually. I think it bugged. I guess it just needed once. I like how all the interactable pieces are with this bright pink.
Yeah, we were talking earlier how the pink is the colors for interactions and works really well. So it really stands out. But at the same time, Snowhand was saying that he preferred more how they did it before, when it was all kind of monotone and yellowish.
Like all brown, like it was the first one.
Yeah.
So we see pipes here. That's a new one, right?
Yeah, pipes are leading you everywhere. You follow the pipes, follow the light, and you're good to go. Let's see what else. Obviously here you got pipes, but you don't have to follow much because they go straight to where you're going. Too late. There was a pipe turning around there, but I missed it. But yeah, that was helping you, leading you on the right side. Here, this opening here is foreshadowing what's going to happen. And you can kind of see some light, some platform there. There's like a lower ground here. So they kind of give you a glimpse of what you're gonna face later without allowing you to go yet there. Just like, ooh, teasing you. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you can also see the big boss coming around.
Yeah, I think there was something moving around here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's again, foreshadowing what's going to happen.
So Slowhand is saying that he realized that the yellow color is the second main color in this game, thanks to you.
Nice. Glad some information useful. So here I wanted to point out that we got this intersection. So we got this entrance here. This is where the other tunnels ends, and obviously here you don't have anything. So it's just like a tunnel, and you can see how like this is very obvious because it's just like almost a L shape / T shape junction. But even if it was a T shape junction, even if you had like another opening on the left, you can see again, thanks to the lights coming from here, that you're going to that direction. So you got like a nice lights here, and that's an indicator that tells you go left. And on top of that, and thanks for the reminder, Borto, we got pipes, and right now I can't really see it properly, but there's a pipe that is like, bending towards that direction. And on top of that, there's also this pipe coming from somewhere there, I don't know, that is going to that direction too. And all together, I think that's a very easy way to see that you're going that way, because you got the pipe going that way, the pipe going there, and the lights going behind this sort of thing that attracts you on this side. And that's a common thing to do. And it's very important when we are making a junction, like T-shaped junction, to let the player understand before they reach the junction area where they have to go, so that they can already aim towards that direction and already be prepared to face that direction, rather than getting to a T junction and looking right and then realize, oh, the right is close, I need to go left, and then left there is an enemy that is shooting at you, which can be frustrating. We make sure that players knows that they need to go, in this case, left, by making this sort of adjustment in terms of light, this sort of props helping you, guiding you toward the left. NPCs movement, if there was movement on the left, you could have probably gone to the left, etc., etc. Another hint what's gonna happen.
Hey, Marshall, did you know there's an arc down here?
Another skill here, or maybe something else.
Maybe you got the nanotrite config it takes. See if you can't get it to open sesame for you.
Another skill that I will forget to use.
Exactly. So at this point, players learned that inside these structures you can find cool things. So they use the same structure probably everywhere to make this space readable from that point of view. And there you go. Exactly. And you got narrow area, shotgun, and rusher coming at you. So one thing that really looked cool here. Let me see if I can get back here.
The reflections.
Yeah, I saw them and I was like, oh my god, that's so good. Look at that.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah, one thing that I wanna say about that, for who's looking at us, is that I love seeing puddles. So you can see there's like sort of a big puddles there, and that really helps to make a game, especially this generation game, but as well as the future generation, like when we're gonna whole have RTX technology in our game. It helps that to create to make this the environment looks cool, because you got this material contrast between the shiny here and then the rough material of the dirt or whatever surface is there, and that's really cool. And as you can see, it adds also a lot of lighting. If this wall is lit, like you see now, it's kind of lit by this light, you will see the same reflection there, which overall improve the coolness of the space as well as how readable and bright the space is. So yeah, always put puddles everywhere. And when you put puddles, make sure they reflect something. Don't just put them in places where, yeah, you put the puddle, so you did the job, but there's nothing that the puddle can reflect from the view the player is approaching the puddle from. This makes sense. And yeah, blue here is a nice accent of color here, because otherwise would be all like kind of washed green yellowish color. So blue adds something nice, and we all know that blue is like water, right? So a blue barrel will not explode. So the player should have misunderstood the colors and the shape, hopefully. Like a nice fight. Ooh, look at this shot. Yeah. All right, let me move on. So here, what I wanted to say is how nicely they managed to break this shape. So they have like this very circular shape that can be interesting if the environment, if you don't see that often in the environment, but in this case that we are in this sort of sewers, you kind of see it often as you're navigating through it. And you can see, thanks to those big pipes going in, how and these like cables and these alien things going around, how this shape is now more interesting from a shape point of view. You got like this element, you got this, it's kind of like that. So it's definitely more interesting than what it was before. And then you got the guys here. And obviously, I mean, this comes obvious, but thanks to those pipe as well, you make the leading line towards that guy there even stronger than what it could have been before without those. Plus, the platform here. So, yeah, win-win. Explosion, reflection, pretty cool.
This part was spooky scary.
Spooky scary, why? Jump scares?
A lot of mutants, yeah. People was jumping at me.
Cool. Yeah, there was a lot of storytelling in that room there, in terms of blood and things that happen here. Again, here, because we are in a very like tight space where we need to use the shotgun, the room is pretty much free. But it's good to see that the light here, this light here, it makes sense because it's connected to this cable here that is probably connected to the other light, and it's probably connected to another source of power or going to a wall where you don't see where it goes. So you can't tell if it's like there randomly or no. And yeah, that's something really useful to do, like to try to make logic out of the placement that you do. So if you place a light, make sure that it can have a source of power, and if it can, try to create some sort of cabling system to make it more believable, let's say. Again, here we got a nice puddle which reflects these things. It's reflected here, which is really cool. Very cool. Then again, the enemies here are very well defined in terms of silhouette, because they place a light right behind them, and by doing that, they make the background of the characters of these like NPCs very bright, which create a very high contrast between the enemies and the background, which makes it easy to spot them. Lastly, in terms of light, you can see how there is a light coming from up there, and it's sort of getting in like that, creating this nice, interesting volumetric fog, which is always really cool, and probably it's also moving, so it can be interesting. But not only does that, it also helps to get more details out of the scene, which is the silhouette of this pipe here, and this little thing here, and this cable coming down. Because imagine the scene without that, without like this detail, it would have looked like all the details would have been only here, but because they add that light, now they also introduce new details to the scene, which is interesting. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Again, also like one last thing that I want to point out is the fact that there's this prop here, which is, I don't know, a water pump or something, and there are pipes leading to it, something like that. So maybe there's like a warm pipe and a hot pipe, I don't know, but they're all leading to this, and it's kind of interesting. Like when I was talking about try to make logic of the way you place things, that's another example. Like if you place this thing, try to have pipe leading to it, if this is a water pump or else. Yeah, pretty cool space.
From my point of view, that pipes and that pump was right in the middle of the combat, so it was like sort of annoying.
Yeah, but at the same time, so it was channeling players all there, right? Enemies all there. So you weren't you didn't have to look around and look on the other side because they were all coming from this like space here. No?
I see.
Was a bit easier. Should play Nightmare mode.
Yeah.
I like how I think one of the first NPCs that you encounter is sort of explosive or something, and because of that it triggers all of them. So it's kind of cool to see that they use the first NPC that you're gonna shoot and use that as an alarm for the other ones. Pretty cool. Yeah, Ultra Nightmare is saying it's low end.
Slow end, are you the kind of player that plays like Doom Eternal in the hardest mode possible?
You see that another explosion, and then the explosion triggers everyone to arrive, and then there they come. You mostly play on the hardest mode, so I guess
He's a hardcore gamer, not like me.
It's a nice space. Thanks to those alien things, you get a lot of depth. You can see there's a lot of information you can kind of hide behind. You can see where they're coming from. And you kind of grounded the space to this alien thing.
Oh, do you think this is better than Doom Eternal? I know that the game had mixed reviews when it came out. Like, it's like open world Doom game. Okay, yeah, I see why it will be cool. I know that for sure they did like an excellent work from the first one to this one. The first one was like, I don't know, it had less personality, in my opinion, rather than this one.
I reached the turbine. Like you said, it's gummed up with
From an artistic point of view, I think both were really unique. The first one was very rusty looking kind of game, where this is now they introduce on top of the rustiness yellow colors that is everywhere. They also introduced these flashy pink and blue colors together.
They wanted to be more edgy, like Borderlands, I guess.
I mean, you just killed that boss.
That was too easy. Doom 2016 was cool. Yeah. It's also the one where I stopped playing. Maybe we could bring Doom Eternal as our next game here. It would be nice to see.
Maybe,
Have you played it, Leo?
I haven't played Doom Eternal. I played the previous one.
The first one?
The soundtrack was so good.
Yeah. I also liked, in a sort of way, the multiplayer. Have you ever tried it?
No.
No?
Yeah, this is just like a boss, I guess, fight. There wasn't really much of a boss because you killed us straight away.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I think for today we might end it here because we are trying to keep the live stream within 2 hours because I need to get back to work. if my manager is watching, I'm back now. Don't worry. and yeah, I think we can stop it here. And I don't know, you guys, you have some questions before we stop the stream, or do you guys wanna stream? I hope you guys enjoy it, and if you like what you're doing, like, obviously follow so that you get notified. But we just started, so if you like what you're doing and you think someone else can be interested, feel free to share it with that person. And if you want to see other games, or if you want to see a specific game, let us know, and we'll try our best to put it in our schedule for the future streams.
You could also join our Discord server if you want to join the discussion. And like Leo said, propose new games.
Yeah, I hope you guys learned something today. And if you did and you like it, let us know. And I guess I'll see you next time. Next time we're gonna stream on Thursday. So we are gonna probably stick to this kind of format until the 28th of March, which is I'm gonna start the stream, and then Gianluca is gonna join us later because of the time zone not matching. And usually we stream on Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So mark down the calendar, and see you next time.
See you, and thanks. Thank you.
Thank you for sticking around. Bye-bye.
Bye.